Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan. And today we bring you match day live as Tottenham are involved in yet another London derby as we host Chelsea, aka the Flower Enthusiasts, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium today. To build us up to the game, we are joined by Paul from Australia. How are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, good. It's a respectable time of night, 9 p.m. here, so I'm raring to go, man. Let's smash them.
A nice proper time for you instead of it being like 3-4 a.m. in the morning. Nice Paul. Absolutely love that, man. Absolutely love that. Phil, how are you keeping, brother?
Yeah, I can't complain, Dave. I just hope we smash these Chelsea fuckers today. Just it has to come today, man. It's the best time to play them today. We'll smash them today. Come on.
Yeah, get in there, son.
I hope so, boys. You know, Tottenham, we don't really do well on early kickoffs, so hopefully them players are up for it today. Let's welcome some people into the chat, see what early risers are with us today. We've got Tottenham LSG. He says, I'm up, the beers are out, the house has been cleared, and I'm ready for my weekly dose of depression. Courtesy of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Let's have it. Big up, Tottenham LSG. I like the priorities, though. Up early, people out of the house cleared out. That's the way it should be for big match days, my man. Big yourself up. We've got Del Support 14. He says, I predict Chelsea will get an absolute spanking today. Absolutely love that, my man. We've got Showtime. Big up. He says to LSG, he's on his way over. Big yourself up, my man. We've got Cara Simpson. Hey, Dave and Jack and everyone in the chat. Today's the day. It's our time to put Chelsea in their place. Come on, you Spurs. Super hyped. Absolutely love that. Look, where Jack is, it's 5 a.m. in the morning, so I told him to stay in bed up until the watch along. So, no Jack with us today. Although Jack is an early riser, he might surprise a few. You never know. King Huddle says, massive game. A victory would represent a statement win and send a message to Liverpool and Newcastle. We must exploit their poor run of form, damaged confidence, and lack of cutting edge up front. King Huddle, Newcastle, you know, they don't play this weekend because they're final later on today. And then the next game is Man City, so it's a nice time to sort of try and create a points barrier, my man. Big yourself up. Dark Sun G says, come on, you Spurs. I feel 3 points today for once versus Blues. I love how even their fans aren't even confident coming to our ground. Also, Liverpool drew with Palace. Laughed my ass off. Paul, what would you say to Dark Sun G here, my man?
Yeah. You know, it just makes me laugh. You know, before the season, all the experts were saying, well, you know, the league is either going to be won by Liverpool or Man City. It's a foregone conclusion. You know, it was almost written in the stars or whatever. And Liverpool are dying in the arse. It's hilarious. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, man. We're going to smash Chelsea today, and you know that it puts us in the top four, which I don't really care about, but it's nice to be there, I suppose, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Look, I'll be honest, Dark Sun G, I sort of seen the Palace result coming after the collapse during the week. Champions League takes a lot out of you. I sort of see, especially away at Palace, Liverpool never traditionally do well there. I remember when they were going for the league, I think they got slapped 3-1 there. You know, they never ever do well there. So I'm delighted that they drop points. But then it's all about us, you know, taking advantage of that today, Dark Sun G. Now that these teams are dropping points, it's up to Tottenham to avail of this, you know, and use it to their advantage and go out and get the result done today. Isn't that right, Phil?
Yeah, definitely. I thought that would be a tough game for Liverpool, to be honest with you. I think Palace are good at home against Liverpool, so I thought it would be a tough result. Yeah, I think Liverpool's season it's written off. I think for them, the best they can hope for is like a Europa League finish for me. Well, I don't think they want that. I think they can do without that. Like, but who gives a shit about Liverpool? Do you know what I mean? Let's worry about ourselves. But yeah, today about the Chelsea game, it's the best time to play them today, in my eyes. And we need to break this record, this awful record against them. And I think we'll do it today.
I really do hope so. I think we've only won 7 times out of 61 or 62 games in the Premier League. It's absolute madness. But Dark Zone G, you know, their fans not coming here confident. What I will say to them, some of them are prone to having long hair, a bit like Rory Jennings. If you are coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you're a Chelsea fan, you're tuning in, just be warned. Tie your hair up. Romero will be playing. He is around. If you don't want to say Victor Cucurella, you better tie that hair up, is what I would say to you guys.
Rory Jennings just sums up the new breed of Chelsea fan, you know. Like I saw there was some video he did the other day on why I love Wrexham, you know. I mean, what a media whore that guy is. And bugger him.
Big up Dark Soul G, brother. Really appreciate the support. You know, hopefully the other lad's not in bed too depressed about how Liverpool are going, Dark Soul G. Big yourself up, my man. We'll welcome a few more people in. We've got Gunda Branch says 2-0 Spurs. Absolutely. Yeah. Showtime saying Dark Soul G, don't you know all teams who aren't playing well turn up against Spurs? Yeah, true. They usually do. Stevie Fraser says, more no, come on. Let's have these. Come on, you Spurs. We've got On Your Bike. Scott says, big up, lads. Come on, you Spurs. Foggy Foam says, big up the Yid Army. Carl Simpson saying, big up Paul and Phil. Larry W says, hi, lads. Can't wait for the match. We've got them this time. I really do hope so. Big up Neil Shafton. Good to see you. It's 2:08 a.m. where he is. Paddy Harnett says, good morning, you beautiful. Can't say that just yet, Paddy. Actually, I can't. You beautiful. No, I won't. From all over the world, we need a win today and nothing else. Absolutely love that. Big up DJ Samuel. Good to see you in the house, brother. Hope you're keeping well. Dan Coy says it's not Sunday, it's Spurs Day. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah.
Come on, lads. Paul getting me pumped today. Paul gets everyone pumped. Paddy Higgins says, more than David Paul. Phil, let's spank this lot today. We got this. I thought I said shank for a minute. I was like, whoa, Paddy, I don't know what movie you were watching last night, but definitely spank them, my man. Absolutely love it. Big up Faz Rafar. Big up, guys. I hope Spurs give me the best birthday present by beating Chelsea. First of all, happy birthday, my man. Hopefully, I'll be honest, I don't like Spurs playing on my birthday. It always gets ruined. Hopefully, you get the result.
It's in the bag, Faz. It's in the bag, Faz. Just relax. Enjoy your birthday, man. It's going to be like an annihilation today. So don't worry about it.
West Ham did it for my birthday last week, so it'll be done today as well for you, mate.
Yeah,
so.
man.
How old are you, Faz? Let us know. Maybe it's a secret you don't want to tell us, but let us know, my man. Mark P says, no doubt about today, 3-1 Spurs. Big up, Simon Cohen. Good to see you. I hope you're keeping well, my man. We've got Brett Lockhead says, big up, lads. If we can't beat the Red today, we will we ever? No, if we don't beat them today, I don't think we ever will, my man. Don't think we ever will. And then Dark Sun G says, it became that point that my dad expected a loss. That's where we want them, Dark Sun G. That's where we want the Liverpool fans when they walk into these games expecting the worst. I mean, there's no better times, you know. They've had their luck over the last 4 years, paid off VAR to help them win a league. You know, now they're getting their just rewards, Dark Sun G. And I, for one, are absolutely loving it, my man. Absolutely love it. And then we've got William Kelly, who's on the same time as Paul. Nice early evening for you, William. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. And he says, I've got a good feeling about this one today. Come on, you Spurs.
Yes, man.
Have you been to the Clairvoyant, my man? Maybe you got a little sneaky preview of what's going to happen today. Look, I really hope we win, William. Hopefully you, the missus, and the young lad are doing well, brother. I'll give you a ring later on tonight, sir. We'll have a conversation. I haven't missed call off yet. Don't worry, I know it's there, and I'll get back to you tonight, William. Big up, brother. Look, I think them United tickets are there. If you do want them, just let me know, brother. Just let me know. Big up, William Kelly. Good to see you. I'm going to tell everybody everything they need to know. Then let's crack on and talk a bit about this game. So, of course, at the greatest stadium in world football, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Kickoff is at 1:30 p.m. Referee Stuart Atwell, same guy that refereed last week's game. And then in the VAR room, we've got Chris Kavanagh. It's on NBC Sports in the USA. It's on Sky Sports in the UK and Ireland. Tottenham are missing Hugo Lloris, Basuma, Session, and Bentancur. Chelsea are without Armando Broja, Cesar Azpilicueta, N'Golo Kante, Christian Pulisic, and Edouard Mendy. I will start with you on this one, Paul. The last time Spurs won a Premier League match at home against Chelsea was back in 2018, and we have only beaten them 7 times in the 60-odd Premier League games that I was talking about. Why is it that Spurs seem to struggle so much against Chelsea but find it so seemingly easy to beat someone like City?
Well, see, I come from a bygone era where Chelsea was shit. They were an average club. And let's face it, you know, their London derby is with Fulham or QPR. Ours is with Arsenal. That's it. That's the only London derby is Tottenham Arsenal. That's it. We struggle because they've just had an influx of stupid Russian dirty money, which is, and I'm not saying allegedly there because they pissed that guy off. And I think I think we're seeing now Chelsea going back to what they were, which is a shit club with bugger all support, apart from supporters I don't particularly like. And we've had a bad run against them, but there's no reason that will continue because we're just better than them. We've got more fibre. You know, before Abramovich took over, how many trophies had they won? 4? I think it was 4. And I might even be including a second division cup in there or something, you know. And then they won 20 when Abramovich came.
If we included a lower division cup, then murder us.
Well, I just think they're nothing. I'm not scared of them. I don't see Chelsea as a big rivalry. I've been to Stamford Bridge and it was a shithole. You know, their meat pies were shit. Their football was shit. We beat them 2-0. We beat them 4-1. You know, they're the memories I have of Chelsea. I just think they're fucking hopeless. And they were propped up with a bit of dirty war criminal, maybe, money. And now all that's gone. They've got this Yankin who doesn't know fucking anything about football. And they've got Graham Potter. And look, I've got the same bloody degree as that guy. You know, I can't manage a football club. I mean, what the fuck do you reckon he can, you know? So I reckon if we don't, look, and I really think we will smash them today. But if we don't worry about it. Their end is coming. They're minor. They're as I said, they're Fulham, they're QPR, they're nothing.
Well, Fulham is actually their real derby game, isn't it? You know, it's like watching, I don't know, it's like watching 2 royals fight each other. I mean, it's a disgraceful derby, if you want me.
They're a pathetic sham of a shit show of a nothing club. Fuck them.
If anyone's wondering,
that's why I don't really buy into the whole derby rivalry. It's like if they beat us, it's like, okay, we got beaten by, you know, Bournemouth. I don't care. You know, I know a lot of people nowadays care about this Chelsea Tottenham thing, but I don't give a shit. If we beat them, it's good. But if I lose, I don't give a shit.
I just want to beat them because they're like, you know, invented a rivalry. That's why I want to beat them so bad. Their rivalry with Fulham is that bad. They invented one with us. But if anyone's wondering what Paul was holding up there, he's in charge of Eric Dyer's contract at the minute. He's trying to stop Tottenham from giving him a renewal. So fair play to Paul, taking one for the team.
I'm afraid my pen's run out of ink on the contract there. We might have to postpone that one.
And what I will say as well is if you're making meat pies and paws around, you better make sure it's best of quality because he will not forget. Absolutely love that. But, you know, Phil, same to you. I mean, William Kelly says here, he says 7 wins in 61 is frankly pathetic and unforgivable.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's an awful record which we need to break. In regards to Chelsea, I mean, you know, I second what Paul say, that they're shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, we just got to worry about ourselves today. If we don't get a result today, you know, it doesn't scupper our chance for top 4. We can still get that. We're still in the FA Cup and we're still deep into the Champions League. So, you know, that's not out of the question getting through to the next round against Milan. So it's not going to scupper our season today. But it's every team's got a bogey team, you know, and Chelsea's our bogey team, you know. It's like City with us, you know, we're their bogey team. So, you know, it's a mental thing with the players against Chelsea, I think, and they just need to get over that and get the win today.
Yeah, look, I agree with William Kelly. I think it is, quite frankly, pathetic. You can't put it all down to the money that they've had. This record stretch is a bit longer than that. But, you know, look, I just want us to turn up today. I want us to stand up, be counted. It's a London derby. You won't get a better opportunity than this to sort of get the hoodoo off your back. Now, look, I would say warning signs. Chelsea were in disarray earlier on in the season and they absolutely played us off the park in their place, although, be it we got a result today, hopefully, you know, we're not going to let them come to our home turf, play their ball. Hopefully we're going to kick 7 shades of shit out of them and make it hard for them. That's what today should 100%. Be about. William Kelly says, Paul, you're a legend. What part of Oz are you from?
Oh, I'm in Sydney. I'm from West London, and I went to school in North London, so, you know.
Well, there you are. There you are, William. He's in Sydney, my man. Are you anywhere close? Anywhere close?
I've actually got family in Australia as well. I went over for 7 weeks, going back 10 years now. They've got, well, yeah, I've got family in Brisbane and in Harvey Bay as well, near the Gold Coast. Yeah, Surfers Paradise. Yeah,
nice places, man.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Love it. Well, there you are, William. Now you know, my man. Let us know if you're anywhere close. Phil, I have to say, you're all looking awfully fresh for 10:30 in the morning. Is it the haircut? You're out of bed early? You're moisturised? What is it?
No. To be fair, I had a few beers last night. Yeah, so I don't know why I'm so fresh this morning, like, but yeah.
Maybe I should take up drinking if I look that fresh in the morning. I should take up the old drinking, so I should. But look, guys, again, we'll go to you, Paul. Lots are saying this is the best opportunity to break the curse with Chelsea. Why do you think it's the best opportunity? What makes Chelsea more beatable this time around?
Well, you know, I always think that Chelsea are beatable, but they're in such disarray. I mean, they don't know what they're doing, do they? You know, they've bought in players. They spent, I mean, what, hundreds of millions of dollars on players that just don't fit any idea of, you know, a manager's vision of football. And you've got this guy, Graham Potter, who, I mean, when you look at Brighton now, I think Brighton are doing better without him. You know, I don't think Potter is, you know, Potter always strikes me as a, you know, like a clipboard PowerPoint guy. And when you're talking in front of professional footballers, and the guys they brought in, you know, they're successful players, and you know, they want to know what to do on the pitch, and you know, about emotion and tactics and how to tackle the game. And he's probably standing there, you know, with bullet points, and they're thinking, what the fuck is this guy on about? So I think they're weak, and it is a good chance because what, are they 10th in the table? There's something way down, aren't they? I mean, they're
relegation than they are to top 4.
Yeah. I love this word. They're languishing. They're languishing in the mid-table. Their season's over. They've got nothing to play for. What? They've got nothing to play for. Maybe that's it. They've got no hope of. They're not going to get in the top 4. You know, the players they've got. Do they really want to play in the Europa Conference or the Europa League? I think a lot of those players think that they're better than that, and they probably are. But they've come to the wrong club, and it's a shithole of a disgusting club. And I think we're just gonna fucking pulverize them, man. We're just gonna smash them into the fucking ground. Fuck them.
In regards to like Potter, I think he's just over his head. I don't think he's a top 6 manager. I don't think he's a really bad manager, like, but he's just not at that level when it comes to like the top 6, in my opinion. And when we were linked with him, I didn't want him to come to Tottenham, to be honest with you.
He's like this typical corporate world manager. You know, Whereas you look at Brighton the last couple of seasons, I don't know where they finished. What was it? Maybe 10th or 11th or 12th or something like that. I don't know. But you look at them now, and they're playing really not just structured football, but they're playing really nice football under a different manager, and they're pushing for top 6, top 5, top 4 even themselves, and that's without Potter. And I think that just goes to show that after Chelsea was scrabbling around after they realised they've been done like a kipper because they've taken dirty money and they've taken this Todd Bowley character in who knows fuck all about football. And Todd Bowley's just saying, it's like the old Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse sketch with Abramovich. Oh, your son, I like him, I buy him. They're just paying over the odds for players that, I mean, it is the ultimate of the ownership just buying great players and hoping that they can hire a manager that fits them into a game of football instead of what it should be, which is the manager is God who runs the football club, dictates who comes in, who goes out, because he's been there and done that. And Chelsea is the American model of sport or soccer or football. And I don't think it'll work in the Premier League. We're going to fuck them.
I really do hope so. I remember, look, this is a guy that, didn't want the Tottenham job at the time, thought he was too good for the Tottenham job.
Oh, what a cock. Well, fuck him then.
I called it when he got the Chelsea job. I was like, I'm absolutely buzzing. He's going to tank them. I could see it coming from a mile away. Look, everyone's so desperate for an English
What
manager.
an arrogant prick, eh? What an arrogant prick. Tottenham's too good.
I'll never forget it. Honestly, I was reading it and I ended up spitting my drink out all over my computer screen. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is a guy from Brighton. They plucked him from the Swedish league.
Fucking Brighton.
They didn't even want him. They spat him up, threw him to Sweden. And now this guy thinks he's too good for one of the biggest clubs. What an absolute knob. William Kelly says, I'm in Brisbane, boys, and love it. So, Paul, he's in Brisbane. Anywhere near you?
No, that's about like 12 hours drive north. I'm in Sydney, but hey, William Kelly, we're still in the same land, supporting the same country,
Exactly. I'd love the two of you to meet up for a game one day. Do watch along. I'd definitely watch that for sure. Big up, William, my man. We've got Amir joining us as well. Amir in the house. Amir, how are you keeping, brother? I think you're on mute, my man.
Amateur hour here. Sorry about that.
Big up, man.
How are you keeping, Amir?
Yeah, I'm good. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm just really excited. Last night it's Chelsea, and it's going to be one hell of a challenge for us. But hopefully we can do the business today. Come on, Tom.
Yeah. I do hope so. Everybody, I haven't said it to you yet. Please smash that like button. Let's get over 100 likes. Let's get the like situation up. Feel free to smash that subscribe. Big push for 10K is on. And also, feel free to get in a super chat with your thoughts, questions, talking points that you think maybe I've missed. Get them in a super chat. Really helps the channel and everything we are trying to do here. But at least keep getting your comments in. I know it's tough enough out there at the minute. Phil, plenty of negative media attention is on Graham Potter, like Paul was saying, and Chelsea with certain media outlets even saying that there is a divide amongst the Chelsea hierarchy over their confidence in supposedly Harry Potter. Do you see this as a potential El Sacco for Graham Potter? And if that is the case, do you think his team will crumble or pull themselves together for this derby match today?
Yeah, I don't think the players are fully behind what he's trying to do there. That's Graham Potter, that is. So I think with Potter, I think he's got 3 games maximum. If they lose to us today in a big derby and not play well with that as well, and go out in the Champions League against Dortmund, then I think his time's up. In my opinion, the Chelsea fans are going absolutely crazy at the moment, which I love. So yeah, I can't see him being in the job in 3 games' time if the results don't go his way.
Yeah, look, I actually want them to keep him on. To be honest with you, I'd urge Chelsea to stick by Potter through thick and thin.
I think they did. The owners did say that they wanted to keep faith with him, and long may that continue because they're in shit street at the moment. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
but that's always the call of death when you get a vote of confidence from the board. You know you're fucking gone within the month, aren't you?
It's true, Paul. Did any of you guys see the interview that he gave before the match?
No, I haven't seen that.
It looks like one of those ones where he's just waffling on, and it's almost like he knows the guillotine's coming soon. You know what I mean? It's almost like he knows it.
Once the board give you that vote of confidence, though, in any sort of job, you know you're only a few results away.
You're fucked, man. You're fucked.
Yeah. And if the players want to throw him under the bus, if a lot of these new guys, they all think that they all think they're way better than they actually are. They've just been signed for millions and millions and millions, and they could just throw him under the bus, not get results, and he'll be gone, and they'll have someone else in there.
Yeah, I hope not. I think Potter's doing exactly what I wanted him to do there. But Mir, sticking with you, man. October 8th was the last time Graham Potter's side scored 3 goals or more in any competition. They have had the 8th fewest goals scored, but Spurs have conceded the 6th most goals in the league. With Chelsea desperate to fix their scoring woes, will Spurs defence crumble and concede easy goals like it has in the past to Chelsea?
Do you know what? I honestly think it's a coin toss today because, sometimes our defence, they can turn up. Romero, Emerson could have a good game. Davies could suddenly pull the hat out the bag and have a good game. So, it's really hit or miss. It comes down to individual errors and are we working as a collective there at the back and looking after one another? And it's critical. Skippy's role there in the middle. If he does get the nod, it's going to be critical at breaking up that play in the middle and letting them show that we're going to run the midfield. So for me, it really is a coin toss. If the defense manages to work hard and defend resolutely, we got a chance at keeping them out. But if it comes down to individual errors, goalkeeping errors, Dyer, whoever else, then they could nick a goal or two. They could.
Paul, do you back this back line to be able to keep it composed for a game? Clean sheet against West Ham, but they've been very, very hard to come by this season. We've seen under the littlest of pressure. We give away mistakes. Hell, we'll even set you up in Eric Dyer's case. And your video on our defending was absolutely spot on. Do you see them being able to keep calm today and keep the ball out the back of the net, another clean sheet?
Well, I think Amir is right. It is a coin toss, isn't it? We don't know what back line is going to turn up. It could be steady enough to allow people up the pitch to play football, or it could be. It just comes down to those dumb mistakes, doesn't it? Those dumb fucking mistakes where. They head the ball across the area and some prick comes in and scores a goal or something like that. It's those kinds of things. Like, if our defenders go in, like when we beat Man City, it wasn't like we were going in with tackles. It was like we kind of hustled them further up the pitch.
Yeah.
Whereas if they get into our half or penalty box. It could all be up for grabs, but I'm hoping that the Stellini factor or whatever factor comes into play. That I don't know. Is the lineup come out for tonight's game? I mean,
no, it won't be out till an hour before kickoff. So
right, I mean, they've all got. This is the thing about Tottenham at the moment. I mean, I love to pump them up and I love to say we're going to win, but we're only a fuck up away from losing, and that's the frightening thing about us at the moment. If we had decent defenders, if we had a good back line, we wouldn't be even having this discussion. We'd be talking about, we'd be talking about, can Skip continue his form, or can Kulusevski? And now all we're talking about is, You know, can our defenders not fuck up? And I don't know. I don't know is the answer. You know, I don't know. That's the worry I have.
Yeah, Phil, any thoughts on that, my man?
Yeah, yeah. I'm still not confident in this defence. You know, like Paul said, it could happen at any time. You know, with this defence, and but if there's any game, you know, for the players to get up for today, it's against Chelsea. You know, it's a London derby. I mean, we've got an awful record against them. The players should be up for that, to break that fucking awful record. So today we just need to be solid at the back. You know, straight from the off. To actually try and get at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? This is the perfect time to play them. You know, they're not in good form, so I think we should get at them from the first minute. And in regards to like with the Emerson, because there's a lot of talk with Emerson or Porro today. I would actually play Porro instead of Emerson today, because I think it's one of them games where, you know, it's a London derby, and the crowd will get behind Porro. It's his home debut. And I think it could be one of them debuts where he absolutely has a stormer. So I think that would be important if we played it today.
Interesting. I know Jacko will definitely disagree with you. He loves Emerson. Now I will actually get on to, you know, left wing back and right wing back and that very, very shortly, because there are a few talking points in terms of squad selection today. But guys, I want to know how follow you quickly. It's a question that I saw put together yesterday. Now, we come into this game after beating West Ham 2-0, and back-to-back wins have been very hard to come by this season. Tottenham have failed to string a consistent run of results together this season, and we need to if we want to make the top four. But also, it's the business end of the season. It's where the prizes are handed out. So there is no better time to start putting a bit of consistency together. But why do you think we have not shown any real consistency in terms of performances and results this season? And we'll start with you, Amir, and we'll get everybody in on this, because this is something we need to put right.
Yeah, you're 100% right that we need to put it right, for sure. But I do think that it comes down to a multitude of factors this season. It's not just one thing that takes control. It's a mix of a lack of depth in the squad, in the starting 11, a little bit of a lack of quality there at the back. It's also to do with, you know, the disruption of the season that we've had with the World Cup, with injuries, with passings away, with Conte now with his surgery. There's just many things, many factors that have gone into this season that have caused a lot of instability, I would say, at our club. And that's the thing that we need to fix. You know, we need to be stable. We need to make White Hart Lane a fortress. It needs to be a place that nobody comes and gets any points. And we need to make sure that we're doing our best to be more consistent. So like that loss against Leicester, you know, after we beat City, I was like, we're going to lose to Leicester. That's just us. That's just what we do. Like last season with the Burnley, and it's just what we do. The difference between where we are now and to be a top club at the elite of European football is to go over and turn over Leicester, even on a bad day, to still beat them 1 or 2-1 or 1-0 or whatever. So, you know, to bridge those gaps that we have, that we're lacking, will take time, will take investment, and it will take a big push. It's going to be efforts on all sides to get to where we need to go.
Yeah, look, hopefully some of these home truths that Davies was talking about, you know, after the West Ham result, apparently after the Leicester game, they all sat in a circle holding hands, telling each other how bad they were. I mean, shouldn't need home truths in the dressing room. They should know, and they should all be clamoring together for the same cause anyway. But Phil, where are you at with this inconsistency? Why have we seen the inconsistent performances and the results? Because they sort of come hand in hand.
Yeah, I second what Amir said. Really, it's accumulation of things. You know, with you know, the actual players that we haven't got at the back, top quality defenders. You know, with Conte as well, with his problems. You know, It disrupts the squad. There's loads of factors in it why we're not getting a run of results. It's the consistency as well. We have I can't remember the last time we had a run of games like a 10-game unbeaten streak. I can't remember the last time we actually did that. And it plays on the player's mind as well. That when you get a run together, they get the confidence. And we just haven't had that this season, and it's been a disruptive season for us. But we need to get this manager situation sorted as soon as, really, because that'll be better for the players, in my opinion.
100%, 100%. Big up, Ribsy. Good to see you in the building, my man. I hope you're keeping well. Daniela says, strike a pose. Absolutely brilliant piece of content that was. I was in stitches. I was in absolute stitches. But big up, Daniela. Big up, Ribsy. Good time of the evening for you to watch a game today, also in Australia. Hope you're keeping well, my man. But Paul, King Huddle says here, he says, a myriad of factors: dodgy defense, injuries, individual errors, Son's form, lack of total commitment from Conte. Look, we'll start off with the lack of commitment from Conte. Do you think that that's contributing to, players being up and down and sort of the results and performances? Because it's kind of like, if you were in that squad, it may not be a spoken about thing, but naturally, if you don't know he's going to be your manager, if you don't know who your boss is in the next couple of weeks, you are going to sort of cut corners and drop off.
Look, I think, I've heard ex-Spurs players talk about this as well, like Steve Perryman and Mick Hazard and players like that. Is you shouldn't play for a manager. You're a professional footballer. You go out there and do what you have to do to the best of your ability. You're earning a living. It's been a funny old season for me. It's like we're fourth in the league, but it doesn't feel like we're fourth in the league, and it kind of feels like for me it's been a bit of a shit season. We've maybe it was that run before the World Cup where we were playing like total arse, but we were getting results. And after the World Cup, it's like we're playing better, and we are getting results. There's momentum there, I think. I don't know about Conte's commitment, because he's fucked himself by coming back too early from surgery, and he's going after. He's had to go back and rest. I've never got that feeling that he was not committed to the club 100%. I got the feeling he was maybe fucked around at certain points, but I don't know. It's just a funny old season, man. I don't know what it comes down to. For me, ultimately, it comes back down to some players being at the club too long, and they shouldn't be there.
But it sort of goes back to the point, though, Paul, right? That, some of these have been here that long. It's not like they're playing for the manager. They should be playing for the badge in the club if they love it that much, right?
What's the thing? That's the thing about, when you talk about players, they play for the manager or they don't play for the manager. Well, what use are they? They've got to play. Yeah. And I reckon if you talk to any top professional footballer, like not just Spurs players. I'm talking about players like, Graham Souness, Kenny Dalglish, Ryan Giggs or Paul Scholes. They didn't play just for the manager. They played because they just wanted to bloody play. And, I don't know if Conte's a big part in this, I'm kind of wavering, I'm not Conte out or anything like that, but we are in a mess. And look, ideally, what I'd like to see is, what I'd love to see, man? What I'd love to see if Conte leaves at the end of his contract under good terms. After let's face it, we've given what he's got, he's done all right, really. That we've done all right to get where we are. We're still in cups and shit. But if he leaves at the end of the season under good terms, there's only one man I would like to see in the job, and that is Ange Postecoglou, and that is it.
He's doing a very good job at Celtic. By the way, they're
He's
actually
fucking fantastic, man. And he's not just done a good job there. Because I live in Australia, and the guy, he just gets football, man. And in his first press conference, he would win you all over.
Yeah. See, I like Celtic, so I do keep an eye on what's going on over there. And he's done very well with some of the signings he's made from the J League. He plays a very good brand of football. He's a very charismatic guy. Honestly, I do see him probably going to the Premier League in the near future, I would say. Look, Celtic to Tottenham is probably a bit too much of a big step up.
Nah, come on, Dave. Don't be a pussy. He's fucking Tottenham through and through. Have you seen? You've been watching Celtic. The brand, the way they play football, it's so entertaining, man. They took on teams in the Europa. They didn't do really well in the Champions League, but they fucking took the games to them, man. And I love watching that shit, you know. I
mean, look at the managers that have come into the Prem, like De Zerbi. De Zerbi's a prime example. I mean, where did he come from? Sassuolo in Syria, and he's doing bits for Brighton at the minute. So these appointments can be successful. It remains to be seen whether he can do it in the Prem. But these managers have done it. They have done it in the past.
Yeah, look, I do think Postecoglou would suit the Premier League with his style and play. What I will say is I was raging. Chelsea or Celtic and Rangers are on today in the cup final. Old Firm Derby. I wish it was yesterday. Unfortunately, it's not. It is today, which I'm raging about. But not a bad shout there, Paul, with Ange Postecoglou. But sticking with you,
brilliant,
Paul,
man.
We'll get
it's his character, It's everything about him, man. He's brilliant, and I like fuck Rangers, but I like what he's done at Celtic.
They love him up there. They eat out of the palm of his hand. They absolutely love him, so they do. Absolutely love him. Big up Anthony Rose. He says, "Spot on, Dave. They play for our club and they need to win today. It's imperative for the rest of the season." And look, what I'll say is, look, when you have to sit there and tell each other home truths. It does seem maybe that there's a divide in the camp maybe under the manager is what I'm guessing. Some pulling their weight, some not pulling their weight. But for me, I find it totally unacceptable when you're still in the Champions League, still inside top four, and you have an FA Cup to go for. So if there are players in there not pulling their weight, we need to know who they are. And we need to fuck them out because play for. They shouldn't be dicking about under a manager, whether you like them or not. The season's ongoing. We're still got a good chance of salvaging it. So regardless of the manager, they should be out there fucking performing. And plus, some of these guys, I've heard it all before. Pochettino, his training methods were too tough. They got sick of that. Jose was too mean too mean to them. I mean, you got Nuno. Oh, he didn't speak to you. Well, I don't blame Nuno for not speaking to you when you complained about Jose being too mean to you. So I don't blame Nuno not speaking to you. And now they've got problems under Conte. It wasn't so long ago reports were coming out that training was repetitive. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, it's sort of repetitive because you guys can't take on multiple tactics at once like we've seen. So, it's sort of like, I don't buy into this. At the end of the day, the club pay you, not the manager. And then when the club still has stuff to go for, you fucking knuckle down and you get together and you go for it.
I know you've reached you're nearly at 10,000 subscribers here, but if anyone wants to pay me like $1 million a year to be mean to me as shit, I'll take it, man. I'll fucking take it. I'll do what you want, I'll put my hands up, These players are fucking pussies.
Home truths. Everything Jose said is. You look back at it now. You sit there.
Yeah.
Look where Dele Alli is. Look where Dele Alli is, and look what Jose said to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Says it all. Says it all. It wasn't mean. It was just whole truths, and they did not like it.
Fucking me, man.
Honestly,
Fuck that
big
shit.
bunch of babies. Go home, tuck yourself into bed, and read yourself a nursery rhyme. Paul, we'll stay with you, and we're going to get everybody else in this because this is another talking point that came up for me. Stellini was asked during the press conference if the side could be title contenders in the next year. But Stellini said that the side must improve if they are to compete with the likes of Man City and United. Now, Chelsea, Arsenal were in there, but I don't want to mention their name. So simple question, lads. What is it exactly we need to do to be able to compete with them, the likes of City and United?
Get rid of fucking Eric Dyer, man. Get rid of our whole back line. Like, I tell you what, if we had a good defence, we wouldn't have conceded fucking 35 goals this year. We would be up there. You know, we've got a front line, and even with injuries, like we've got two main midfielders out, and even though I have my doubts about Skip, he seems to be going all right. And Sarah is good there, and Pierre Højbjerg is good there. Our front line is good. It's our fucking defence that let us down every fucking 35 goals, man. Come on.
Yep.
It's
Says it all. Says it all to me.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. But Phil, where are you at with it? What is it? Just the defence that needs to be improved for us to be able to compete, or is there more that needs to be done?
Well, it's a mentality thing with the players as well for me. Over the years, we just haven't got over that line. I mean, the season where we were competing for the title with Leicester, and they won it that year. You know, we're to me, we're only like 4 or 5 players off from challenging, in my opinion. You know, if we sort that back line out, you know, with top quality defenders, get a replacement goalkeeper for Lloris, and you know, just give us options off the bench as well. You know, just freshen up the squad, because I don't think we freshened up the squad enough in these past years, and that's a major factor for me. Also, with changing managers don't help. You know, given that run of good few years behind them. You know, to actually get a squad that can compete. You know, and it comes down to the owners as well. You know, the owners are the ones that are in the wrong, in my opinion. They should be spending the money, you know, to get this club where it should be. And it is the recruitment also as well. The recruitment's been so bad. You know, the decisions we've made with players is been absolutely shocking. So it's a lot of factors in it, really. But yeah, we need to change this really pretty soon.
Yeah, that we do. Brian says, "Hey, Dave and panel, how confident are you for a win today?" I think it's nothing but a win, or it's a shambles. Look, I'll be honest, man. I always come into sort of Chelsea games. I mean, half glass full. I'm usually or half glass empty. I'm usually a half glass full sort of guy. But look, I'm just, no matter what Chelsea have been like down the years, they always turn up against us. So for me, I'm a bit apprehensive, but I still believe we can win. I always believe we can win. Any given day, anything can happen in this beautiful game, my man. Big up, Brian. But Amir, you know, we spoke about recruitment and we spoke about the back line when it comes to what Tottenham need to do to be able to sort of take that next step to compete. Is there anything else that we're missing that you think needs to be sorted out as well?
I think that's a huge factor when it comes down to the improvement, is the investment side and the players that we're bringing in. It's huge. I don't want to put a percentage on it, but it's a massive part of it. There are other factors involved in there, like our mental block that we seem to have, like in the games that after we beat City, to go and beat a Leicester away from home, or get a result, pull a draw out the hat, something. So the mentality thing has to be looked at. But when we're being realistic and we're looking at things objectively, we have to see how other teams have gone off and won leagues, right? Chelsea, they went in, they got the money, they got Abramovich, they brought in the best players, they won leagues. City, they went in, they got the money, they brought in the players, they won the leagues. Liverpool, they went in, they got the money, they got the Van Dijks, they got in, they got Klopp, they got the stability, they went up, they won things. United, they had the money. They've always had the money. And when they needed under Ferguson to recruit, they recruited correctly. They brought in the players and they got. So we have there a track record, a precedent of how to do it. It's not a mystery. It's not like, oh, rocket science, astro physiology. It's nothing crazy. The footprint of how to get there is there. So when Phil says 4 or 5 players away, he's spot on. Let's not even exaggerate and go to 5. Let's look at 4 players. Let's look at a Bastoni, a Gvardiol. For me, I'm just going to throw him in there because I love the kid and look at what he's doing. Manor Solomon as a replacement for Song in the future.
He's doing very well lately.
Fantastic. Unbelievable talent. Right? That's 3. 4th, I would go get a keeper for 10 years. Yeah, a young good keeper. That's 4 players. That there already for me is putting us in a position where we can compete. I'm not saying we will win the league with that kind of improvement to the squad, but it gives us a hell of a better shot at going out and getting the points that we need against the teams that we always mess up on. So it's there. That the footprint is there. Whether Levy, whether the board, whether the people up at the top want to follow it or not, I don't think they do, because they just paid themselves £500,000 each or whatever, and you know, instead of getting the defenders, that's what they're doing. So
it's the ambition, isn't it? You know, from the owners, from the top, it's the ambition. You know, we've got the manager, we've got a winning manager in Conte. You've got all the base there for us to go on and challenge and compete for honours. But like, you know, the owners aren't ambitious enough, you know, for this club, and this is why I am fed up with the owners now. It's got to a point where it needs to change. They need to change their plan for this club, or they just get out and we get owners that want to win trophies for this club.
Phil, and they need to be held responsible, right? So this shit show of scouting that we've had and recruitment over the last 20 years, right? The people that are there that have been doing that need to be held accountable. And we all know how much Levy has had a hand in the dealings. He needs to be held accountable. If guess what? If most people are at work and they mess up a few times, once, twice, 3, 4 times, you're out the door, mate. You know what I mean? You're out the door. You're slinging your hook, and you're going to be looking for new work. So how comes these Levies and these people that are making the mistakes up at the top get a free pass and are paying themselves £500,000? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Pays to be the boss, I suppose. That's why.
Daniel Levy's paying himself £3 million quid a year. I like what William Kelly's saying there. Like if Conte stayed, I think that would be great. I think that would be the best thing, because I really like the guy. You know,
we're only a defence away, really, Paul, aren't we? That's my feeling. A defence and a goalkeeper away, really, from sort of, you know, being in the mix, in my opinion. I do think we probably need to do a bit of other business to be able to win it.
It's often been that way at Tottenham, man, but it's never really been in the defence. It's kind of been in the midfield or maybe up front. But when our defence is like Swiss cheese, you know, what can you do with it? What can Conte do with that? You know, yeah. I mean, have you seen videos of Conte playing? He had less hair when he was playing, but fuck me, he was a committed, absolutely committed professional footballer, and he carries that into the role, and you can see it. You know, so I'd love it. I'd love it. If William Kelly's right and he stays around, that'd be the best thing. But if he does leave on mutual terms, then Ange is the guy. No one else. Not Poch. No one else. Ange. That's it.
It's like with the players, like Kane and Son. You know, they're getting to an age now where, you know, in the next couple of years they might be past their peak. You know, and this is a crucial time to get these players in. You know, to form a great team around Kane and Son, to start going for trophies. You know, if we keep leaving it for another year, 2 years, that time might pass. This is the time to do it now, in my opinion.
100%, Phil. 100%. We'll be in the position where we were when we were with Poch, and we could have pushed on and won leagues and given him the backing that he needed, and we messed that up. So if we miss the chance again with Conte, it's going to be a whole nother story with whoever else comes in, whether it's Ange or whether it's Pochettino or whether it's whoever else.
It should have been these top quality players should have been in years back when we had Vertonghen, when we had Alderweireld, that back four. You know, all these players that we should have got in to start challenging for trophies, and we missed it. We missed it.
The thing is, I presume we sort of never really upgraded on Sanchez at the time because they still believed he was going to be that number one, but he's still not in the team here today, and we're still carrying his ass. I mean, it's a piss take if you want me to be brutally honest. Look, I'm of the opinion that it doesn't matter what.
Dave, don't besmirch a Tottenham captain there. Davinson Sanchez was a Spurs captain. You know, we've got to respect the guy, man.
Honestly, I've never been as angry as I was that day seeing him giving the captain's armband. I was absolutely. It's like, you know, the guy's just literally turned down a move away from Tottenham. You sort of don't want to give him any encouragement to stay, but there you are. Lead Tottenham out, even though you've done nothing to deserve it. It's madness. It's absolute madness. But look, I'm of the opinion it doesn't really matter what manager you get in here. Even if you bring in Poch, you might instruct your players to break forward a lot more. But if you don't have the players to be able to pass the ball to them, there's no point in it, in my opinion. I think, you know, I've been highlighting this defense for quite some time. It's a major issue. And hopefully we get it fixed, because if we had it fixed this season, I think we'd be a lot closer to the top of the table than what we are now, if you want me to be brutally honest.
If we'd have fixed it 5 fucking years ago, God knows what we would have won, you know?
True. William Kelly, though, he does say what Paul just said about Ange is true, but Conte will be here next year and beyond. But Ange is incredible and be a beautiful brilliant Tottenham manager. And just to, you know, so everyone knows what William Kelly's on about, he went to see a clairvoyant, and she said that Conte will outlast Levy and Enoch. So interesting. Let's see if that happens.
That's a big call, man.
And he says, well, boys, we will win the FA Cup, so hold my drink.
Yeah.
Come
He's
on.
all the predictions today. He's with them all. Look,
Yes.
I hope
it's
so.
lucky for Spurs when the year ends in 3.
I hope so, William. I think if we can just get that first cup off our belt, I think it'll pave way for so many more coming. I really do believe that. And look, we've got a bloody good chance this year. We've got Sheffield United midweek, win that. You know, hopefully Man City or United draw each other in the next round. Could be a very good year for us in the FA Cup. And plus, I want to start catching up Arsenal with the FA Cups they have now as well. That's absolute killer.
It's a fucking travesty, man.
It's a knife in the heart. It's a knife in the heart.
It really is.
It really is.
It's a killer. It is a killer. But big up William Kelly, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother.
The FA Cup is our fucking cup. It was always our fucking cup.
Yeah. Well, it was. It's been some time since it has been. We've got a relay claim to it. But just talking about the defence quickly before we move on, because I want to get into talking about starting positions and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at Newcastle, look at the massive improvements they spent across the back line. Now, you know, everyone's raving because they're hard to beat. Well, that's a result of having a good back line and spending money on your back line. Look at the overhaul Arsenal have done of their back line over the last few years. Now sitting there top of the league, the reason why they're winning most weeks is because they got a good goalkeeper and a good back line that can keep the goals out. Man City, look how much they spend on defenders since Pep Guardiola's been here. You know, a huge amount. So that's where we've got to get to. We want to start seeing these consistent results. You've got to have a team full of consistent players, and that starts with the goalkeeper and the back line. So it just has to be improved this summer. No excuses. Everyone keeps smashing that like button, over 240 in the house. Keep smashing that subscribe button, and feel free, like William Kelly, like Dark Sun G, to get your super chats in with your thoughts, with your support, whether you agree, disagree with anything we have to say. But keep getting your comments in the comment section. Now, of course, Hugo Lloris is still nursing a long-term injury. Fraser Forrester so will be in goal today, so no discussion really needed there. But look, we'll start with Ivan Perisic, lads. Ivan Perisic was given a rest against West Ham, and Ben Davies got the nod at left wing back. Do you think Perisic is too much of a defensive liability to play against Chelsea? And did Davies play it well enough to keep his spot on the team? I'm going to start with you on this one, Phil.
Yeah. Perisic, for me, he's defensively, he's a liability at the minute. Going forward, he's nearly in double figures in assists this season. So he's still a good player going forward, but defensively, he hasn't got the legs to get back. He hasn't got the defensive mind either. His positioning is all over the place. And for me, Davis should get the nod today. They've got, I think it's Madueke on the right side, is it? That's been playing recently. So if Perisic plays today, he'll fucking tear him a new one today. So we need to be solid on that side, in my opinion. Perisic is a good option going forward, but defensively, shocking.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's sort of like pick your poison at this point this season. I mean, Amir, where are you at with the left wing back situation today?
Right, it's a very tricky one. I just worry about any pace up against Perisic there. He's been getting done so easily, going left, going right. Yeah, it's a very, very tricky one. And Ben Davies did look all right out there. It probably would be a smart thing to just continue with Ben, especially, I'm a big believer in players are playing well and are on good form. Keep them in the team. They've been doing their job well. They've been doing all right. They should be rewarded with a place in the starting 11. I think in the long run, we need to assess that position and really, find our man for the future there. Because
I think we have in Udogie, Amir.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, he's been playing fantastic. You're right, Phil, and he's up there scoring goals for Udinese and playing fantastic. Yeah. Hopefully that he will be the future. You're right.
Yeah.
Rimsey says we all have to shave if we win the FA Cup. Yeah, I think we should. The beard of beautiful men on here.
Don't fucking way I'm shaving, man.
Honestly, if there was a razor company looking in, it's the perfect channel to sponsor. That's what I would say.
Oh, if someone gave me $1 million, I'd have a shave. Fuck it.
Adrian Parker says, big up DB as well coming in there. And then I've got another question from Central Band after this. But Adrian Parker says, do you guys not think as a fan base, we are way too negative? We are Tottenham, and that's all there is. It's in the blood or not. Today beat Chelsea, and yesterday's a memory. What would you say to Adrian Parker? Are we too negative as a fan base? Or do we have
it's tricky, man. I just want to talk about Perisic there for a second before I answer that one.
Yeah.
And I actually like Perisic. I know he's coming for a bit of a beating for being defensively bad, and he has been. But I just like it. I like the way he plays, and I think he's a class player, especially when he goes forward. And like I said, when he plays for Croatia, he's in the front three. Yeah. So we're asking him to fulfil this sort of semi-defensive role, which doesn't suit him with his character. But given the chance, when he's up forward, when he puts crosses in, they're pin perfect. Yeah. As opposed to Ben Davies, who, or Ryan Sessegnon, which he might as well just, kick a pigeon or some fucking thing. But anyway, so I like Perisic. I do, and I wouldn't be disappointed if he played it. Right wing, but I fucking hate that term, right wing back.
The world we live in, we don't condone animal violence, just to put it out there, just in case anyone wants to cry about what Paul said.
Well, I mean, look, if a pigeon's sitting there in front of you, you're going to kick it, aren't you? But I think I see what Adrian's saying here is, but that's the same about all football fans. When you have good times, you're with the team, and when you have bad times, you're like, it's like a roller coaster. And hopefully, when your team's doing well, it's more of a ramp up than a ramp down. And I was listening to a thing the other night, and Mickey Hazard was talking about this. And I mean, no one can doubt that Mickey Hazard, well, for me anyway, Mickey Hazard is one of those players that is just like Tottenham through and through, even though he moved. I mean, he was kind of semi-forced to move away from Tottenham and came back. But he's a real Tottenham guy. But he was saying that, you know, players come and go and fans, like once you pick your team, it's in your blood, isn't it? You're born with it. There's nothing you can fucking do about it. And so whatever criticism you give the team or players or management or ownership or whatever, what else can you do? That's what football's about. If you don't have that from fans about football, if you don't have that emotion about it, then you've got nothing. It would be a nothing game. It wouldn't exist. It wouldn't be worth, you know, the $1 billion that, you know, corporate people are creaming off people. You know, there's something about football and clubs and players that we love, and we can't help it. And once you're in, you're in. So, you know, you could say we're negative, but that's part and parcel of being a football fan. You know, sometimes you are fucking negative.
What I will say though as well is, you know, from the highs of the Champions League final to competing for nearly every trophy out there to sort of languishing, being mediocre, making some of the mistakes we do, that's where it comes from. I would say, Adrian, is sort of the last 3 years where they've got it absolutely horribly wrong since the Champions League final, constant change in directions. You know, at times,
I
I've never seen.
I don't mean to correct you here, Dave, but I think maybe I'm assuming Adrian's talking maybe about this season. Right? If you consider, you know, our performance that we put in against Man City, which was like fucking brilliant. It was great football. Or and then, you know, we 5-1 against Leicester City or whatever the score was there. The next goal that was disallowed. We were shit. So it's that kind of, you know, highs and lows. It's not over a period of, you know, decline over years. It's from game to game. We seem to be going up and down and up and down. But, you know, fuck it. That's being a football fan. Suck it up, princesses.
Yeah, it is understandable in my eyes. I mean, with the fans, you know, I mean, it's been an up and down season for me. And, you know, and with a trophyless, we've been trophyless for how many years as well, along with that. And it shouldn't be the case for this club. It's a massive club where we should be winning trophies, you know. So, yeah, you know, we do need to stay positive as a fan base, you know, and get behind the team. But, you know, the team don't help themselves when they're not getting a run of results, you know what I mean? And it affects the fans as well, you know. And that comes down to the ownership when they ain't getting players in where we should in the certain positions where we need. So, you know, it's a lot of things that need to be sorted out with this club.
Yeah, look, like I said, I understand it. I do think maybe we're guilty though of not enjoying the good things that do come Tottenham's way. You know, even a win and stuff like that. I do think maybe, you know, we should just look. Results are hard to come by this year. Every win you should sort of enjoy. You know, sometimes it can get over negative in my opinion, but at the end of the day, like I said, you know, I understand that a lot of people are frustrated with how this club has been the last 3 years. The constant chop and change. We've had the worst player pool in my lifetime that I can ever remember, you know, for quite some time, and we're still feeling the effects of that today. I just want to.
Yeah, I've got a photo of me on the night that Tottenham last won the FA Cup in '91, and I'm sort of like pissed and passed out on the foot of the stairs, just in rapture. And it would be nice to have a photo of me like that in my 50s, like that now, instead of in my teenage years, for fuck's sake, you know?
I just want to get back to where we were on the pitch, where, you know, you're arrogant with your support, you know, like people are speaking and they're like trying to talk to you about their club, and you're like, sorry, can you say that louder? You're so far below me. I can't hear you. Raise the volume, please. You know, you're walking around, people are like, oh, Spurs Jesus are doing well, playing great football. I have a soft spot for Spurs. I want to get back to them times, and I think everybody does, Adrian, my man. Fast Rod says, are David and Phil brothers? Look like brothers. I mean, look, I'll be honest. if I went grey gracefully as Phil, I'd be quite happy. If you want me to be honest, I'd call a silver fox. But no, we're not brothers, my man. But I'll be honest, Phil's got a better trim than me as well. So I need to fly down to the barbers tomorrow to get that sorted out ASAP.
Oh, I don't know about that, Dave. I'm looking at scruffy bastard at the minute. So,
but honestly, Faz, I'm not sure Phil wants me to be his brother. To be honest, either, Faz. But big yourself up.
Dave's a legend, man.
Big yourself up, my man. I really appreciate the support, Faz. And again, happy birthday, brother. Now, guys, just to end off on Ivan Perisic, a lot of people are talking about for the left wing back situation. But is there a case of maybe bringing him in at left wing? I mean, Richarlison hasn't worked out there. Sonny, look, we're going to get on to discuss that in a little while. But again, I know he came off the bench the other day and scored, but do you start him? Is there a case that Perisic could play left wing, Amir?
He could definitely, fill in there, here and there. He could definitely do a job there. He's probably better up there than I would say at the back with his, silky crossing and the touches that he does and his passing. But with regards to today and then Chelsea, I'm personally of the opinion that Sonny should get the nod. You play players when they're in form. He's coming back into some form. His touch is looking better. He's got that silly mask off. He scored that wonderful goal against West Ham. He's hot. You give him 55, 60 minutes, and if he's not doing the business, you bring on Richie and you hope that he does. So Perisic, for me, today stays on the bench, and, he can come on and influence the game if the need be.
Paul, would you start Perisic at left wing? Everyone's talking about Son and Richarlison, and Amir wants some back in there. But, it's hard to drop someone who's got your most assists this season. So is there a case he could play left wing? Because I think it was you that made the point, before we started that, he can't get back anymore. It was either you or Phil saying he can't get back anymore, So is there a benefit? Could we benefit from him playing left wing?
Yeah, look, I think Son's the natural starter for that position, but Perisic, I mean, that's where he played. Like as I keep saying, but that's where he plays for Croatia, and he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He excels in that position. The thing I worry about Richarlison is that he's a centre forward. He's like the Harry Kane alternative, and we keep on. Whenever we sub a player or whatever, we like last game, he's playing in Son's position, and his position is up the middle, up front. That's where Richarlison can shine. Out left or out right, yeah. I mean, he's decent. He's all right. He's not crap, but I don't know. I think we should start Son because I think Son against Man City. There were times in that match, man, when it was beautiful, where we were holding them, and then you would see what we saw, towards the end of last season, when you just saw our three forwards run at those fuckers, and we had we could have won that 5-0. I mean, the finishing in that game was a bit off, and Son was a big part of that. He was when Son drops back. His trouble at the moment is he holds the ball too long. He sort of gets the ball, when he's not like near the box, he holds the ball, and then it's like he wants to score a Ricky Villa goal or something. He wants to take on 5 players instead of just getting rid of the fucking thing to someone who's in a better position. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but when they're running forward, when we've got a solid base and our midfield's good and pressing, and our three forwards run at those bastards, then Son is amazing. So I'd start him. But Perisic, he's a good shout for the position. I mean, what the fuck do I know,
Oh, look, it's definitely one to consider. Like, he's got the most assists, so, if he's got the legs to get back, I'll definitely consider it. Big up, Shawnee, brother. Hopefully you're keeping well, and good morning to you too, sir. Come on, you Spurs. Let's get after it today, Shawnee.
Come on, you Spurs.
I'm not even going to degrade the way you do it,
on.
Sean, but he says it's a game day, my man. I'm not even going to degrade the way you do it. I will not do it justice. But big up, Shawnee, and big up SAR Spurs TV coming in there as well. I'm going to ask one of you on Emerson, and then I want to move on to a bit of a conversation about Romero. I was going to say Emero. That could be their new nickname, the gruesome twosome down that right-hand side. But look, we'll go to we'll go to you on this one, Paul, because I think Phil already sort of alluded to it earlier. But Emerson has been very well of recent and has been useful against stronger opponents for his defensive skills. Do you stick with Emerson as the right wing back for this match? Phil was saying that he wanted Porro in today. So what would you do, Paul?
Well, it's nice to be sort of cultured and new and see how a new 40 or 50 million pound, wing back play that. But I think Emerson's done really well, and I think his defensive. It's not only that in the last few games that is because he was always kind of good defensively, But I've been amazed at the balls that he's playing up forward as well. His passing's been good, and also it's when he. I think that where he's gone wrong before is when he's running up the wing, but when he's doing more like an inverted wing back and coming into the middle of the pitch, I think the guy's devastating. So I think it's. I'm all for whenever you make a new signing, unless they're like stunning, like Paul Gascoigne or something like that. I think it's you've got to give a bit of respect to the incumbent player, and I think that that sends a good message in the team. You've got to earn your place. You've got to earn your stripes to play for Tottenham. You just don't come in as you're a big money signing from Porto or wherever, and you just walk into the first team. I think you've got to really earn it, and I think it's up to Emerson to lose his place. Really, I'd play Emerson.
Yeah, I would too. Personally. And Amir, let me ask you this: many fans have said that Emerson looks like an entirely different player since the arrival of Pedro Porro. Do you think that is true, or do you think we sort of seen some of these levels before from Emerson?
No, I think that's a little bit false, because we did see towards the end of last season, he put in some great defensive performances. Maybe the things that people are seeing that is a bit different. We're seeing him attacking in a way that is a bit more confident, and the balls that he's playing forward, and obviously that finish against West Ham, the way Cooley put it in the corner, no one would have expected that from Emerson. So maybe that's why people are seeing it. It's not, it's kind of a bit of an illusion, because he was putting in good performances defensively last season. It was just attacking wise, we were a bit annoyed with him. With regards to whether he starts today, for me, I'm going to side with Paul on this one. I do think he needs to start, and I just do think that Sheffield would be the perfect place to play Porro, just because, he's against a little bit less pace, the Mudriks of your world. If you just throw him in today, and God forbid he gets torn a new one by these guys, that's two kind of dodgy performances, and, it's not a great start. I'd put him in against Sheffield, give him some confidence, let him play against a side that's not as good as Chelsea, let him build that confidence up, and let them battle it out for the spot. I'm a big believer in having two good players for each position, and you let them battle it out. If someone gets injured, then the other one obviously gets the nod. I think it's great strength in depth that we finally got in that position now. We really do have a choice between two players that can come in and perform their duties. And I'm very excited what Porro to offer. Just not quite yet.
I mean, it's better now than watching Serge Aurier and Doherty compete with each other. But go on, Phil.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just and for sure, Emerson deserves his spot. He deserves his spot. He's been playing really well of late. I just think today would be the perfect time to put Porro in. Mudryk on that side he's not great defensively. He doesn't really, you know, he's quite weak going back, you know, tracking his man. And you know, Chilwell's not the best defensively. He's great going forward, but I don't think he's the best defensively. So I think on that side we can get at him, and I think it's a perfect time to be attacking against Chelsea. You know, instead of playing more defensive and sitting back. So that's my opinion, really, on Porro, you know, being on the right wing back slot.
And just to touch on what Paul was saying about Emerson, for me, you know, I think the biggest difference is his confidence on the ball going forward. I think defensively, he always had it. I've always stated that I thought he was better than Doherty defensively. But going forward, I think the confidence on the ball as well. And Rimsey makes a good point saying, you know, Doherty was on form last season, but Emerson came good to challenge him a bit at the back end, which are absolutely spot on, my man. And Steve Fraser says people forget how frightened we were how frightened we were at the back end of last season when Emerson had to play. He was brilliant against Liverpool and continued that form to help us get top 400%. Look, I'll be honest, I don't think Emerson is one of those players that is analysed fairly at this club. That's just my personal opinion on it. Jacob wants us to say hello to Alfred. So big up, Alfred. Hopefully you're keeping well and hopefully you're having a great day.
It's funny though, you know, like Emerson was one of those players that, along with the rest of the back line, I was thinking, you know, absolute dog shit. But he's come good, and I don't even blame him for, you know, I don't think he was slacking off, and he's come good. It's just something about competitive sport when you've got someone else in there or something clicks. You know, you're talking about really fine margins, 1% here, 1% there. So I think Emerson is doing really well, and good luck to him, you know.
Yeah, I think he's got all the attributes to become a really, really good defender for the rest of his time at Spurs. You know, attacking, he was lacking last season going forward, but we've seen the improvement. So that means he can be coached. He can improve. He's got all the athleticism in the world.
Well, he wants
you
to
know.
improve as well, Amir. You know, he spent over £1 million in his psyche and stuff like that. So he wants to
exactly. And the attitude he shows on that pitch, the smile, the passion, the way he goes about himself as a professional, I think it's fantastic. And if you had to compare, I hate to go back to him, but Dele Alli, you compare that attitude to that attitude, and if you're a manager or a coach or a scout, these are things that you should be looking at. And you got to praise sometimes the recruiting. You know, I slagged off the recruitment earlier, but this is the thing. When we also talk about negativity and things you were on about before, David, there's a way of doing things and saying, look, you can constructively criticize the scouting and saying, look, Ndombele not good enough, Lo Celso, Sanchez, and go on and on and on about the bad decisions. But then when you can say Emerson, okay, might work out. We brought in some good players in the past that have worked out. Okay, you get the praise for that. It's not that we're always negative. It's sometimes it's about being constructive and saying, okay, so how can we build on it? And Emerson has shown me and showing the fan base that he can work on his game. He can get to where he wants to go. And I'm delighted for him. Long may it continue.
Yeah, me too, man.
Me too. Yeah.
Spot on. Big up, Brains, by the way. Good to see you in the building. He says, I'd love to see Porro start, just to see a bust up between him and Felix. We can sing the He Banged Your Wife song. Yeah, I mean, he did. You know, Chelsea fans trying to say it's not true, but regardless whether it is or not, I mean, anyone at the stadium today, I sort of would be singing it just to get at him and throw him off his game. That's what I would be doing. And look, you know, if Felix's bird likes a bit of Porro, aka the Porronator, I mean, I don't blame her, you know. I don't blame her.
What are you on about, man? The Porronator.
Yeah. Because there'd be debates everywhere now. There'd be debates everywhere. Is Porro really like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator? You know, a bit like there was with Gil Messi. Is Gil really Messi? I mean, it's a nickname. Just relax. breed. But look, what I do want to talk about quickly, guys, is Romero. Look, you know, there was lots of sort of talk, you know, this season up until recently about Romero not being the same player that we witnessed last season, not being as dominant defensively as we witnessed last season. Is Romero still a long way off the player we've seen last season as his form dropped? And you know, or is he sort of starting to get back to that the last couple of games?
No, as if fuck, he's a class player. He's a class player. I don't know why people are saying he's dropped off. You know, I've looked. You know, I've watched their games, and the mistakes he's made are like understandable. And he's when he got there, I think he got a lot of criticism for getting a red card. But I thought that was it was a challenge that needed to be made. You know. So I've got no doubt about Romero at all. I think he's fucking brilliant. I love him. I think he's great.
He's still raw. He's still, you know, he's still young. You know, there's still frailties in his game where he can.
How old is he, man?
He's 23, I believe.
23,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but there's still, like I say, there's still bits in his game where he can improve, in my opinion. You know, he's still rash, but he is a quality defender. You can see that. But like when you've got players like Dyer and Davis, and you know them sort of players in the back with you, it don't help either. You know, it gives you more confidence if you've got better players playing with you at the back. So you know that don't help in his situation. But I have no worries about Romero at all.
I love that. Just quickly, Kudos. I wonder, does Felix's bird call Paro the Paranator? We'll wait and see. But Amir, where are you? Where are you with Romero, my man? I mean, look, I could sort of see the arguments.
He's been on for half an hour, and you call him the Paranator. No wonder you get stick man for your nicknames, you know. David Harris, the Irish Hotspur. You said he was the Don. You said he was Gil Messi. And it's like, you're just fucking about, you know?
I love it. Amir, where are you at when it comes to Romero? Because, look, I can see the arguments that he's not as dominant as he was last season. But do you feel he's sort of getting back to that, like the boys have sort of alluded to?
I'll make this simple for you. If I'm having a bad day, right, things aren't going well, I don't know, I stubbed my toe, something happened, I'm annoyed, I'll put on a video of Romero smashing players, just a compilation of him just going at players, and guess what? I feel better straight away, because I'm like, we have got a Rolls-Royce defender who's only 23, who's a World Cup winner, who's an absolute beast of a defender, who's a reactive, he goes after the ball, he shows people who's boss. If there's anyone that I'm truly in love with in this team, it's him.
Yeah,
I've got him on the back of the shirt, man. He's my favourite player.
Yeah, you know, I loved it in the World Cup final where, you know, even though him and Larissa were teammates. Like, it was in the first 5 or 10 minutes, he fucking elbowed Lloris in the stomach. Said, look, you know, I'm surprised. I didn't know he was only 23. That's amazing.
He doesn't look it, does he? He doesn't look it.
You've got to have that sort of defender. You've got to have that sort of defender in your back line. No nonsense defender, you know. But like we haven't got that mix with him at the back at the minute. We need you know, a leader at the back. You know, who can communicate with the back line. We haven't got that in Dyer.
Add a Bastoni in there, Phil. If you add a Bastoni into that back line, honestly, I've been watching him in Italy. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That'll be the guy, man. Him and Gvardiol. No. I mean, that is the sad thing about the state of our team now. Like Romero, I mean, I think we all agree, like, Romero is just fucking brilliant. And if you had 1 or 2 more defenders in there, we'd fucking win everything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he's 24. Everyone, 100%. He's 23 when we signed him. He's 24
24.
now. Still
spring chicken.
Yeah.
Oh no, he plays way beyond his years. Way beyond his years.
If we could just get someone in beside him, I mean, we'd be absolutely unbelievable across that
Well,
back line.
Well, this is it, though, Dave. I mean, are the owners ambitious enough to get these top quality defenders in that we can have with Romero at the back?
Well, we're signing Richarlison.
Yeah.
We're signing Richarlison for 60 million. I mean, surely you could have got 2 fucking defenders for 20 million each. You would have got 2 fucking brilliant defenders for that money.
They had to because they don't know what's going on with Kane. They had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all wanted a replacement for Kane. A backup for Kane. We didn't have that, did we?
Yeah.
So backup for Kane. That's the thing. We're not playing him as a backup for Kane. And in the same way, if Kane fucked off, maybe Richarlison will fuck off because we've not played him.
I mean, playing a 2 up front, we haven't really done that, have we? With Richarlison and Kane, I haven't really seen
that. Gordon Crooks, man, that's where it's at,
Brett Longhead says, Longhead says, are they serious about giving Moon Boots a new contract? Have they not watched?
That.
Look, I'll be honest. I'm not going to sound off on this today. For me, I mean, look, a contract's supposed to be a reward, especially a renewal. It's supposed to be a reward, and if we're rewarding players for a season like Dyer's put in this season, I mean, we've got huge issues. I mean, we wonder why we've developed some of the players or accumulated some of the losers we have here over the last few years is for exact reasons like this. They put in shit performances, give on a very, very average season at best, and then he's going to get a reward for what? For what? It's I don't know, Brett, but I'm not going off on that today. I'll save that until it actually happens, my man. No, guys, I did want to really talk about midfield, but I think we're going to go with Skip and Højbjerg again today. And there's one last thing I want to sort of talk about before we end off, guys. Now, look, Kane is our leading goal scorer in the Premier League this season with 17 goals, but he has only scored 2 in his last 5. And he's also, we rely on him a lot for his creativity as well. The fact that Kane's goals are starting to dry up, does that show that teams have sort of sussed us out and that we need to come up with something different going forward that also gets Son back involved in the games? Because right now he's also having to drop very deep to get on the ball. So have teams sussed us out, and do we need to find something different going forward?
Nah, bollocks, man. Look, Harry Kane has dug us out of the shit so many times. And it's not like he's playing shit. It is our forward line, Like, Kulu's been off. We all know Kulu's been off. Son's been off. And when you have, 2 out of your front 3 off at the same time, I mean, what the fuck's Kane supposed to do, Pull a ball out of his arse and just chuck it in the net, So, look, but I did see signs when we were playing against Man City that the front 3 were actually getting in there again, And they were magnificent last year. And, sometimes players just, it doesn't click, or they're playing a different system, or they're doing different things, or the midfield's different, or you're looking back and you're thinking, fucking hell, Eric Dyer's back there, And I don't know, look, as far as, I don't even like that phrase, man, Harry Kane's goals drying up. It's ridiculous. To me, that is an insane thing to say. Harry Kane's goals drying up. Fuck off. Whoever said that, fuck off. Harry Kane is the best player I've seen in a Spurs shirt since Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah, for sure. Phil, where are you at with it? When you look at it, Paul disagrees. He says you can't say Kane's goals are ever drying up. Son is not he's having to drop deep to get on the ball. It's not his game, as we know. our team's sort of starting to find us out because, Leicester, the goals dried up, AC Milan, the goals dried up. It took us a while to break down West Ham.
It's a load of bollocks, in my opinion. Harry Kane. I don't think. I mean, how can you say his goals are drying up? Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely weird. Harry Kane.
It won't be these internet pricks putting fucking messages.
How many years has Harry Kane played in the Prem? They haven't sussed him out yet, have they? Do you know what I mean? So that says it all to me. But in regards to Son, I wouldn't play him today. I wouldn't play Son today, in my opinion. I would play Richarlison, just purely for that shithousery in a derby. With him and Romero in there as well. I've got a feeling that Richarlison may get that goal today.
Bit of niggle in there, you reckon, Phil?
Say again, Paul.
A bit of niggle in there, you reckon? I get you, man.
Just a bit of shithousery up there, and get in there and roll them up. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I've no worries about Kane at all. He always seems to score against Chelsea as well, so I've got no worries at all with him. But Son seems to be a lot fresher when he's coming off the bench at the minute. I think it's right for him to stay on the bench and come on later on in the game, in my opinion, today.
They are. Welsh guy says Kane just broke Jimmy Gee's record, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Look, I understand it. All I do is put the questions together. Look,
have teams figured out Harry Kane? Have they? Fuck. Have you seen this guy? Have you watched the guy play? I mean, there's any Tottenham Hotspur supporter watch the guy play. There is no way a team can figure out how the cunt plays. You can't. He's magnificent.
Fair. Amir, where are you at with it? A bit of an outrageous question, or do you see what I'm getting at?
Nah. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. Kane is the ultimate goal machine. If you were to take this man and you were to place him in any other club, in a City, in a Barcelona, in a Real Madrid, in a Bayern Munich, in a PSG, this guy will be getting 40, 50 goals a season, without a doubt. Easy. The fact is, we don't create enough chances for Harry Kane. It's as simple as that. If you gave Harry Kane 4, 5, 6 chances a game consistently that you're creating for him, guess what?
He gets 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6. My opinion.
Yeah, that's the thing. And when I hear people I've got a friend here who's a striker out in Israel, young fella, 22, second year in the Premier League, banged in 16 goals last season, went on a goal drought now, didn't score 7 games. The media's on his back. I said, don't get on his back. You know why? Because I know him. I played with him as a kid. I know the kid knows how to score goals. So I know as soon as the team pulls their finger out and starts creating chances for him, he's going to score. And guess what he did yesterday? He banged in 2. And now everyone's shut up. So, sometimes in football, you got to put your head above the narratives, whatever the nonsense media is talking about, bringing up, Kane, or does he have the right mentality, or did he do this and that. Just don't listen to any of it. It's just nonsense. Trust your eyes. You've seen Kane play for the last decade. You know what he's capable of. You know what he's done year in, year out. You just don't need to worry about it.
It's not like Harry Kane's fluffed a load of chances. It's not like the ball's come to his foot in the penalty box and he's fucked it up. Most of his goals have come out of nowhere,
Exactly.
Like in the FA Cup was against Portsmouth, where we were struggling a bit, and out of nowhere, he just on the edge of the box just takes it and fucking bangs it in. He is as you say, Amir, he's a goal machine.
Goal machine. I was at Boxing Day Brentford, and coming out of the match, the feeling I had, I came out of the stadium and I just thought, you know what? If he wasn't here the last 5 years, let's say 6, 7 years, we're a mid-table club.
We'd be fine. Absolutely, man.
That was the feeling I got coming out of the game, and that's just me personally. That's just my feeling. But he is everything that epitomizes Tottenham at the moment, and
that's why I say he's like the best player I've seen in a Tottenham shirt since Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm even like including Paul Gascoigne in that because, I mean, Harry Kane is just absolute class. You know, he's a striker, and when he's not getting service up front, he drops back and still creates stuff from other people. But if you give Harry Kane half a fucking chance, half a decent ball in the box, it's a goal. That's it.
For me, I guess where I'm at with it is I look across the last 4 to 5 games, and I think teams know that Sonny's out of form, Kulu is maybe sort of a bit out of form, and I think they know now that Kane is our only creative outlet. So anytime he gets the ball, they're double teaming him, they're taking him out at every opportunity, which means
but he's so strong on the ball, man.
I think I think Harry Kane is that good that you'll never suss him out. Even if you know what he's going to do, he's just that good. He's always going to do it to you. I do, however, think that teams realize as soon as Kane gets the ball, take him out or double team and take the ball off him, and it eliminates Tottenham's threat. So on that basis, I do think we need to look for somebody that is going to create what Harry Kane is creating for everybody else, but for Harry Kane. I do think maybe teams are starting to sort of realize that about taking Kane out of the game and resetting their hold back on the ball.
I do get what Dave's saying. With Son being out of form, sort of as well, and Kulu in recent games, you know, Kane's the only one really who's you know playing well at the minute, and they're trying to double up on him and take that away from us, you know, in certain games. So I do get where Dave's coming from a little bit there, but no one can suss Kane out. You know, there's always going to be chances. There's always going to be chances in a game where Kane just buries it, or he makes an assist. You know, that's always going to happen in a game. But I do get what Dave's saying. They are trying to take that important factor in our team at the moment. You know, trying to nullify it. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
I saw somewhere where someone was trying to argue that, you know, Son was a better player than Kane because he lost the ball less. But this was based on a game where every time Kane got the ball, and there were three players on him, you know, and he lost the ball like half the time. But there were 3 players on him, where Son was losing the ball, you know, just running into dead ends. And nah, Kane, man, we're so lucky to have him. We're so lucky to have him.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, fuck selling him in the summer for a few quid. If he wants to stay, you know, he's got to stay.
Give him a lifetime contract. Give him a lifetime. That's what I would do. Sign him up to Spurs.
Absolutely, man.
Get him into management after and coaching. Get him to. That's what I would do.
We've got to be ambitious enough for him, though.
Yeah.
You know, we have.
Spot on, Phil.
It's important.
Yeah, and that comes down to, again, that's all the top. That's not even Conte, and that's not even, that comes way above, you know, whether they see him as a cash cow that they can milk and do whatever they want with him, or they give him the backing that he deserves. We all owe a gratitude for Harry Kane and the memories he's given us and the loyalty that he's shown us over the years. And we need to repay that. For me, we need to repay that with a lifetime contract. And
you know what? If anyone out there is watching who's doubting Harry Kane, they should just watch the YouTube clip that Tottenham put up of all his 267 goals. You will see an amazing variety of goals, from dribbles, bangs, headers, everything. And you tell me, you're telling me now that teams have figured Harry Kane out. They have nowhere near fucking figured him out.
Maybe I phrased it wrong. Not Harry Kane, but Tottenham's plan going forward in general. But look, well, first of all, when that video came out, I mean, I had to send the missus off shopping. There's the
amazing, eh?
You know,
wasn't it great?
Leave me here with the lube and the tissues. You know, I've got a day tonight.
But another thing with Kane, though, Dave, I was just going to say, you know, I'll repeat it again. We're like, in the next couple of years, it's so important to get a team around him and also Son is so crucial, because if we don't in the next couple of years, then we're going to miss the boat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they'll fuck off.
I want to go around and get everyone's score predictions, but before we do, Craig Bowler says you won't get better squad players than Dyer and Davies with that experience that are happy to sit on the bench. Look, this is the problem, though. Craig, you're happy to sit on the bench. You should never, ever be happy to sit on the bench. I'll be honest. Even in my lifetime playing football, whether it be Sunday League, it doesn't matter whether it's played for the county or whatever else. I've never known, even the worst player in the team, who you know is going to be benched every week, I've never known anyone that's happy to be on the bench. And that's a problem if they're happy to be on the bench. Plus, what experience does Dyer have? He's fucking useless. If he had that much great experience, he wouldn't be heading the balls back into Mo Salah's path. He wouldn't be running off Callum Wilson over to the other side of the pitch. He wouldn't be pointing at someone, running through the middle with the ball and asking other people to go after it when he's supposed to be there. As for Davies, look, I'll be honest, look, he hasn't been as bad as maybe he was over the last few years. He's been all right, but again, all right's not good enough for where I want to be. It's just not. But Paul,
can I jump on this, Dave?
Yeah, go on, Phil.
Yeah, with Davies, I think he would be happy to sit on the bench. I think he's the ultimate squad player. You know what I mean? I agree. But with Dyer, he wouldn't be happy to be on the bench. I think he's that sort of player. I think he's better than what he is. And if he was on the bench, he would not be happy. I say put him on the fucking bench, let him be unhappy, and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Spot on. Paul, did you want to say anything on this, my man?
Look, I think Dyer's a prick, and Davies is a snitch, and you know,
that's true. He is a snitch.
I'm with you, Dave. You know, like even when I was playing, like, you know, Sunday league and five-a-side football, and even when I was a substitute, it'd be like, get me on the pitch. I want to play. You know, you don't want to sit there and do fuck all. You know, you want to, even if you know you're not as good as the players out there, you still want to get out there. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, no, fuck him. Fuck him.
Do you want to say anything, Amir?
Oh, I'm just still in hysterics over Paul calling Davies a snitch. I can't. Oh, it's too much.
Love it.
Oh, I can't get over that, Paul.
We are going to end off because I have to head over to Tottenham TV, so we will go around and get everyone's score predictions. Sava says, Dave, message me back. Sava, I'm looking at my phone. I don't have a message off you, my man. I don't see it there anyway. So resend the message, Sava. Resend it, my man. But look, guys, we are going to get everyone's score predictions around the house. So, Paul, we'll start with you, brother. And
okay. Based on my personal feelings for Chelsea, which I won't divulge here, and their fans, I will say it is going to be Tottenham Hotspur 8, Chelsea 0. Fuck them.
Love it. Just quickly before we get everyone else's score predictions, I missed this. Jory, member for 4 months. Big up, Jory. He says, I want Pep in after Conte. I can't wait to listen to Spursy idiot brigade called Pep past it. Too stubborn, naive, etc. THFC ambitions is EBITDA. I mean, look, Jerry, I wouldn't put it past it to happen if he was Spurs manager, if you want me to be brutally honest. We've done it with Jose. We're doing it with Conte. We sort of make out that these guys don't really know what they're doing. I wouldn't put us past it to do it with someone like Pep. Would you, Paul?
Sorry, I wasn't listening, man.
All right, we'll go to Phil. We'll go to you, Phil.
What about Pep?
Yeah, so Jory says, I want Pep in after Conte. I can't wait to listen to the Spursy brigade call Pep past it. Too stubborn, naive, etc.
No, Pep's.
I see what he's saying. Yeah.
Pep's not past it. 100%. I can't see him coming to Spurs. Not
No,
one bit.
I think what he's saying though is like we had Mourinho, and we were saying he was past it and he's gone on to win trophies, and we got Conte in and he's won fuck all with this, and he'll probably go off and win trophies. And who's next to say that they're past it? But
No, 100%. I mean, what I will say with Pep, he hasn't. I mean, he's always had top quality players straight away. In a team. He hasn't had young players. He hasn't built the players up. He's always had top quality players ready made in the squad. So it'd be interesting to see if he did come into Tottenham, to see how he would do with these sort of players and what he would bring in. But for me, Pep's not past it. Nowhere near.
Nah.
We would make him look past that at Tottenham, though, for sure.
That's right.
We'd probably throw him under the bus. We'd probably throw him under the bus like every other manager.
I think that's what Geordie's point is. We could have any manager in, and we'd say they're past their sell-by date, apart from Ange Postecoglou.
Love it. Big up, Jerry, my man. Really appreciate the membership super chat. And Jerry, we need to get you on and have a conversation very soon with you, my man. Big yourself up. Big up John Stokes in there as well. So, guys, we're going to go around and get everyone's score predictions because I do have to head over to your Tottenham TV. So, Paul, score prediction, my man.
Yeah, my 8-0 because they're shit. Fuck them. I fucking hate Chelsea.
Love it. Phil, where are you?
I do like your optimism, Paul. Yeah, I would love nothing more than an 8-0 today against Chelsea. Oh, my days. But I can't see that happening, so I'm going to go with a tight 2-1 today. Harry Kane on the score sheet and Son when he comes on late in the game.
Love it.
Dude, those cunts ain't scoring against us. They're fucking useless.
Well, we've all that night, Paul. Come on, man.
Amir, where are you at with your score prediction, my man?
You know what? I was feeling Phil's score prediction before, but now that Paul said, they ain't scoring against us, fuck it. 2-0. 2-0 Spurs. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. Royale's going to have a blinder. Romero's going to destroy them. Oh. There's going to be Chelsea limbs flying everywhere across the
I love it.
And what a beautiful picture, man. I can see it now.
Do you know what? For me,
Mudrik's skinny arms flying in the air.
Oh, the despair. Maybe a VAR decision. All the Chelsea players are going, "Oh, what the fuck?"
For me, I'm gonna go 2-1 Tottenham. I think it'll be a tight game. The one player I'm worried about, two from Chelsea today. One, Raheem Sterling, because the fucker always scores against Tottenham. And the other one is maybe Madueke, former Spurs boy, left because he wasn't getting any first-team opportunities and backed himself to be good enough to go elsewhere and get them. He has, and I'm sure he'll definitely have a point to prove today. But look, I'm going with Harry Kane to score today. I'm going with Harry Kane with a brace actually today. I'm feeling it today from the big man. I think games like this is where he turns up. But guys, we're going to end off.
Dave, you know what? I wasn't factoring in Harry Kane with the brace there, so I'm going to go 10-0. Fuck him.
I thought they've sussed him out, Dave.
Yeah. They figured him out.
They can suss him out all they want. He's too good, He'll just pin them and get the shot in. Not a bother, TPK. Not a bother. Guys, we're going to end it there. We'll be all back here for the watch along at 1 o'clock today. So hopefully we'll see you all there where we get the grind on. Hopefully go and beat Chelsea, a.k.a. the Flower enthusiasts. I bet half of their supporters would rather be at the Chelsea Flower Show than the game today. But hey-ho, hopefully they have to suffer another defeat and we can sack Graham Potter for thinking he's too good for the Tottenham job. Guys, we'll see you all back here at 1 o'clock. Thank you to Paul, Phil, and Amir for joining me nice and early this morning. Thank you to all you guys for tuning in. These shows wouldn't be happening without you guys at home tuning in and showing the support for the show. So really appreciate that. See you all back here at 1. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on.
Come on.